good afternoon, everybody. Sam with Exeter Area Chamber of Commerce bringing you another episode of Mobile Member Spotlight. This episode is sponsored by Newburyport Bank, Journey Well. If you or your business would like to also sponsor a quarter of our Mobile Member Spotlight, please reach out to the office directly. We're also interested to know if you would like to be interviewed as well. So today I am here at the river and I am meeting with Steve Friedman. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice to have you here.
I am thrilled to be here. So this is a great, fun place. I wish everybody watching could come on in as well. But I think now that you are going to learn a lot about the river, if you haven't started listening, you're going to start listening after this. So, Steve, I've got a few questions for you today. Are you ready?
Sure thing.
Okay, awesome. So tell me, what makes this business, your radio station, unique from the competition?
Well, the river is locally owned and operated. We're one of the few remaining radio stations in Greater Boston and Southern New Hampshire to be local. We're based here in Haverhill, Massachusetts, where our studio is, but we have a 50,000 watt signal. So we cover a huge radius up to Agunquit, up to Tilton, out to Peterborough, down to Worcester, south of Boston to Plymouth, Mass. So within that radius, the four main counties where most of our listeners are, Hillsborough, Rockingham, Middlesex, and Essex. So that's where the core of our listenership is.
What made you get into this business, or more specifically, the river? Tell me about that.
Well, it's a quirky story. I had a previous career of 21 years working for Levi's, selling pants and shirts for the Dockers brand.
Ooh.
I moved to New England in 1979 to take over the New England territory. I got downsized in 1999, but I knew I was going to get downsized about 4 years prior to that and opened my own small business. It was called Red, White, and Brew, where the brewer is you. That was my tagline. And it was in Manchester, New Hampshire. It was a brew on-premise shop and a homebrew supply store. So I immersed myself in the brewing industry, and during that tenure of the 4 years that we operated, I was using radio to advertise our business. And when I ultimately closed the business, because we never made a profit, we got to a break even, a guy that worked for another radio station had migrated to the river. And he's like, why don't you come to work for the river? You would be great at it. You used to voice your own spots, come up with your own promotions. You were a tough negotiator and you understood the value of radio advertising. I said, selling radio, that's this much above being a used car salesman. But the only station I listen to is the river. I'll take an interview. 26 years later, I'm still here.
Amazing. Well, that's a great story. So you must have a lot of memorable stories, but what is your most memorable one to date with your clients or, the music, the artists that you see here? Perfect.
Gunstock ski area has been a client of mine for the entire length of my career, 26 years. And in 2015, the marketing director and his assistant had devised an idea that they called deals. Drop everything and learn skiing or snowboarding for the S. And they came up with the idea and approached us and said, we have this idea, but we don't know how to execute it. Do you think you could help us with it? So ultimately what we did was we set up in Boston at the transportation building. They had a dome tent that had their branding all over it. We had our river vehicle there. Myself and our promotions director were down there. And our goal was to find people on the street that would agree to being kidnapped for the day to learn to ski or snowboard. And we were going to provide them everything. They showed up. They were on their way. We found 3 students from Emerson College walking the street and said, would you agree to do this? And we're going to take you for a day and we'll give you all the clothing, lessons, equipment you need. We'll provide you lunch. We'll provide you transportation. So we did this promotion and we had a video made of it. We hired a company to follow the whole day. And the video is amazing. You know, it's probably a 10-minute video showcasing what became from 6 in the morning till 7 at night, kidnapping these 3 students and teaching them to learn to ski and snowboard. So that was pretty fascinating. It was a lot of fun to be involved with. And, you know, it was the case of a client had an idea, but they didn't know what to do, how to execute it. And we put together our ideas and made it happen.
Next question. If you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself right before you joined the radio station?
If I had to tell myself, I'd say take a chance, you know, because you don't know what the future is going to bring. But I am a big believer that things happen in life for a reason. And there was a reason that I was meant to do this, and I just didn't know it at the time. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Steve, tell me, what's your local go-to spot when you're not working?
Well, when I'm not working, and during the time that we used to have an office on Elm Street in Manchester, it was a local pub that we would go to and have our sales meetings after 4 or 5 o'clock, because some of the best ideas happen when you're sitting there with friends, coworkers, over a glass of beer and wine. And we did a lot of brainstorming in those sessions. So if I was in Exeter, working in Exeter, it probably would be Sea Dog.
Heard it here first, guys. Sea Dog is a great place. The Blue Paw.
Oh.
Those blueberries.
Well, Sea Dog is a great place. And a guy I play basketball with at the gym is the head chef over there. So he's Eli, good friend of mine, and he created a burger last week for your Burger Bowl.
Ooh, love all those connections. You see how that happens too? That's what Chamber is all about, right?
That's what it's about, making connections.
Yeah. Lastly, then, what's your best advice that you've ever received or that you like to give?
I often mentor new salespeople, and the advice I give them is get out of the office, get off the phone, stop sending emails, and get face-to-face. Go to a networking event, because people go to networking events with the idea that they're going to have casual conversation, and you don't have to worry about getting through a gatekeeper to talk to the owner or the marketing director. They're usually there with a beer or wine in their hand, and they're prepared to have conversations. So it's a great place to unlock discussion.
All right. So now our final thing here is a speed round today. So, Steve, email or phone call?
Face to face.
I knew it was going to be different.
Yes.
E-calendar or paper?
Both.
Inbox, zero or chaos?
Chaos.
Familiar
Yes,
tune.
yes.
Your work soundtrack, being in radio. Is it music, podcast, or silence?
Definitely music.
Agree. And what is your networking go-to move?
Try and be out there as often as I can. And, you know, it's all about making connections and being visible. I feel like you need to build your own brand, top of mind. How can I preach to a client the importance of marketing and advertising their business to build a brand if I don't do it for my own personal brand?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I love that. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you again for inviting us in, showing us a little bit about 92.5 The River. Just a short hike down the road from the Exeter area, but on the airwaves, no matter where you're at.
92.5 FM.
Absolutely. Thank you again to Newburyport Bank for sponsoring this episode. You too can sponsor or be an interviewee as well. So once again, Samantha with Exeter Area Chamber, and this has been Mobile Member Spotlight. Thanks.